The Dark Knight is an incredible film, there is no doubt about it. There is so much talent being shown in the 2.5-hour film that it would be a disgrace to only pick one part of the movie and just talk about that one particular sequence. I'm gonna do it anyways. We begin with the simple two-shot, the characters revealing information on the Joker's plan and their actions to hopefully prevent the crimes he'll commit. No one's really in control or in power in this scene, just some exposition to fuel the sequence with tension and conflict. It all begins here. All characters mentioned in the Joker's threat are shown back to back. The beauty is knowing what the characters in the film don't. They have a fate that they likely won't escape. No experienced director would add in a close-up of an object for no reason. The viewers are already on the edge of their seats for the characters who are presumed to be in danger. Anything can happen. The music subtly ramping up is only making the suspense greater for the viewer and leads to the Joker's entrance in the scene, the meat and potatoes of the entire sequence. After one loud gunshot to assert dominance in the location filled with what appears to be hundreds of people, the Joker is in full control. Not just him, but his goons too. We get a quick cut of a handheld shot to show how much space the Joker and his gang are taking up. Typically, the camera and character on screen move synonymously, both working with and against each other, but here it feels like the Joker is the one in charge of the blocking and the camera is trying to catch up with him. Almost as if there was no staged blocking and Christopher Nolan told Heath Ledger to do his thing and they'll keep up with him. The Joker's movements are sporadic, odd, seemingly doing whatever the hell he wants to do. Unpredictable to say the least. Seeing how comfortable the Joker is making himself by eating food, grabbing a drink, even touching and slapping the guests at the party, it's really unsettling. Ultimately, it's done to show who has the power in the scene. Cutting to Bruce Wayne in the middle of the sequence is only adding to the tension. We know there will be a confrontation between the two, it's only a matter of when.
You know, I'll settle for his loved ones. We're not intimidated by thugs.
Fuck man, when this moment happens, it still sends a chill up my spine. No one had been saying or doing anything since the Joker had arrived, and seeing how he's handled people in the past who've stood up to him, who knows what this man's fate will be.
Okay, stop.
The tension that was building peaks and fizzles out once we hear Rachel speak up. But ladies and gentlemen, it's only so that it can build right back up again at an even greater amount. The music kicks back in the same way it was at the very beginning of the sequence, reminding the viewer of what happened prior and letting them know that something just as bad, if not worse, is going to happen. Two singles of the character turn into an over the shoulder, which then turns into a two-shot, all happening rather quickly to exhibit the uneasy feeling in the scene. From the two-shot, we get the camera spinning around the characters with a longer lens as the Joker is in clear control of the scene. The longer the lens, the shallower the depth of field, leading to the background zooming past them at a higher speed. Normally, two shots convey equal power, but the added movement around the characters sells the unpredictability of what'll happen. And the Joker's performance will clearly indicate to the viewer who is dominant in the scene. Holding Rachel's face, the knife close to her as if at any moment he could snap, Rachel closing her eyes and trying to look away only for the Joker to force her to look at him. That tension I mentioned before building up again, yeah, it's happening. Those cuts that were shown earlier of Bruce Wayne are serving their purpose now. The viewer is on edge, wondering where in the hell Bruce Wayne is and when he's gonna show up and save Rachel, hoping that it won't be too late. The camera movement around the characters stop, and now it's just a close-up of both the Joker and Rachel. The camera cutting in tighter and tighter. Something is bound to happen. At just the right moment, Batman comes out after what feels like an eternity to save Rachel. The tension that had been built up has just been released again. We get an action scene with primarily handheld camera work and framing that lets us see exactly what's happening. I think it's hilarious how the Joker is fighting, throwing his goons at Batman as if they're projectiles, the knife in his shoe, the smile on his face, good stuff. This action scene works really well, but it's not the highlight of the sequence. It's great, but nothing compared to what we were seeing prior to this. This is definitely no Spider-Man 2 action scene, I tell you that. Which you can go and check out to see what I think a definitive action sequence looks like. Shameless plug, but hey, it's kinda relevant, right? Clearly the Joker is no match physically for Batman, so he goes for Rachel again while Batman is distracted.
Let her go.
Honestly, I'm not sure why he thought that was a good thing to say, but hey, he saves Rachel anyways. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings an end to this outstanding sequence. Something I took away from this is just how often the suspense keeps building up to the climax and then giving a moment to let the audience catch their breath. It happens in the beginning when the characters talk about those who are in danger and ends with the Joker's initial entrance in the scene. It builds back up while he's talking to the guests and ends when Rachel saves this guy from almost dying. Builds again when we get that incredible scene between these two characters and comes to an end yet again when Batman shows up to save the day. I think the key is not just building tension over the course of a long period of time, but also doing it in short bursts, always keeping the audience guessing and never letting them get comfortable. That's the secret to getting the viewer on the edge of their seat and engaged in the story. You know, that and incredible acting, camera work, production design, directing, the whole 9 yards.